This news update is brought to you by
I'm happy. Now I'm gonna take my time. I'm happy. Enjoying myself with lime. I'm happy. Escape from reality. Yay! And let lime take care of me. We're just happy and smiling. Doing almost anything. Having fun and just living. Shopping, chilling, everything.
Get happy with Barbados' largest and fastest 4G network. Activate any Lime prepaid or postpaid mobile plan today.
This is the Barbados Today Morning Update. It's Monday, November 17, 2014. I'm Carol Williams. Good morning. We start off with news of a strong warning to the Fair Trading Commission. Professor Avinash Prasad is telling the FTC it needs to act now or run the risk of not being able to take any action to stop a monopoly from developing as a result of Kibla Wireless's acquisition of Flow. Speaking on state television last night, Professor Prasad said failure to act immediately could mean that Flow will no longer have any assets at a later date.
Every day we do not act, those assets will become irretrievable. And that is why the current FTC position is we will wait till we get an application. When we get an application, we will investigate. That is too long. The horses have bolted. They have to act. They have to make a statement today to make it absolutely clear that they will return to the position of where the assets were prior to the announcement of the merger and require those assets to be divested if the merger is going ahead.
Barbados is in danger of running out of sand. Acting Director of the Coastal Zone Management Unit, Dr. Lorna Innes, says if the country continues on its current path, it could have little or no sand that's blown in by the sea for construction in about 10 years' time. She made a grave prediction on the weekend during a discussion at the Richard Haynes Boardwalk in Hastings, Christchurch.
On the East Coast, because of the extreme wind and the amount of sand that collects in the area, we have had sand dunes migrating inland as far as like the Walker Sand Quarry, and then you get new sand dunes being born to the seaward side of those relic sand dunes. As a result of that, that has allowed us to use the relic sand dunes for construction. Now the worry is that there will come a point within the next decade where we may run out of sand. And then we may be in the same position as a lot of the other small island developing states whose population have been focusing on big sand.
Dr. Innes says the Coastal Zone Management Unit has come up with a plan to collect sand on the East Coast where it is running low and to build up supplies in the area to meet the future needs of the construction sector.
We need to come up with an estimate of how much sand we need in a particular decade, 5 years, whatever length of time we choose to do it. And then, based on that, we can begin making plans.
Thread carefully. Former Magistrate Faith Marshall Harris is telling authorities to proceed with caution as they consider a protocol for the mandatory reporting of suspected cases of domestic violence. While noting that the issue poses a serious health challenge for the country, she says such a protocol has both benefits and disadvantages.
We have, however, to be careful because it can also lead to retaliation from the perpetrator. It potentially strains the patient-doctor relationship and could even result in fewer victims of abuse seeking medical care. There are some persons who argue that mandatory reporting infringes of the autonomy of the victim, who is an adult after all, and in fact will probably put a strain on the relationship such a victim has with a doctor.
Stop trying to create panic. That's what Education Minister Ronald Jones is telling residents as debate continues over the country's preparedness for Ebola. While rejecting calls for a ban on people from the West African states that have been worst affected by the deadly virus, the minister charged that some people are incorrectly claiming that the entire African continent is affected with the virus, and this shows a clear level of ignorance.
I'm not saying we should not secure our borders. I want to make that point. Because we are a tenuous little rock with open fragility because everything comes here. But allow the people who are in charge to do their work. Let them set their structures up. Let them monitor at our ports. And every port we have in Barbados, because we have more than 2. We have about 4 or 5 now. Let them listen to the best advice that they can get. Let them guide and lead without going to this as though we have an insatiable appetite for panic.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
The Barbados Food and Wine and Rum Festival, November 20th to 23rd. Taste the culinary delights of top local and international chefs like Marcus Samuelson, Anne Burrell, Tyler Florence, Roger Mooking, Michael Hines, Dane Sadler, Daphne's Restaurant, and more. The Barbados Food and Wine and Rum Festival, 5th edition, November 20th to 23rd. Visit foodwinerum.com or contact Premier Event Services Inc. at 435-0670. Get your tickets now at Wine World or Ticket.
Over now to Jamaica, where 30 Cuban healthcare workers are due to arrive later today to help beef up the country's Ebola preparedness. The Cubans are scheduled to conduct training under an existing agreement between the 2 countries. Jamaica is currently constructing an Ebola treatment center at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James. The 4-room facility is expected to be completed in a few weeks. That center is one of 2 that have been established on the island to manage Ebola. The other is located at the National Chest Hospital in Kingston. And further afield now, U.S. President Barack Obama has confirmed the death of American aid worker Abdul Rashan Kasig. He says he is the 5th Western hostage to be killed by the Islamic State militants. The beheading of the 26-year-old was shown in a video posted by the group, and it was authenticated by the White House. The video also shows the beheading of 18 other Syrian captives. We get more in this report.
Peter was kidnapped shortly afterwards in October 2013. At some point during his captivity, he converted to Islam and took on the name Abdurrahman. In this letter drafted to his parents during that time, he wrote, "If I do die, I figure that at least you and I can seek refuge and comfort in knowing that I went out as a result of trying to alleviate suffering and helping those in need." And that is how Peter will be remembered, for his humor, laughter, but mostly his drive and compassion, and the way he inspired us all more than he could ever imagine.
There's this impression, this belief that there is no hope, That's when it's more important than ever that we come in against all odds and try to do something.
And on that note, we come to the end of our Barbados Today morning update. We'll be back again this afternoon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 on Lime TV to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Carol Williams. Have a great day.
This news update is brought to you by
I'm happy. Now I'm gonna take my time. I'm happy. Enjoying myself with lime. I'm happy. Escape from reality. Yay! And let lime take care of me. We're just happy and smiling. Doing almost anything. Having fun and just living. Shopping, chilling, everything.
Get happy with Barbados' largest and fastest 4G network. Activate any Lime prepaid or postpaid mobile plan today.